Philippines during the pre-Hispanic period is rich with natural resources such as volcanoes, river banks, mountains, and many more. One of the first who came in the country is the Aitas. They're short, black in color, and has flat nose. And another one is the Malays, has fair skin and average in height. The Filipinos lived in settlements called barangay before the colonization of the Philippines by the Spaniards. The barangay is headed by sultanates or datus. The classes of society includes the ruling class, the freemen, and the servants. People lived in bahay kubo near the rivers. To survive, they hunt for food, go fishing, and plant crops. The fathers teach their sons to become a warrior, do carpentry, mining, fishing, and agriculture, while mothers teach their daughters to do household chores such as cooking, cleaning, weaving, or making clothes. They have a lot of artifacts and ornaments that are used to worship their gods. Thus, they have a lot of weapons made of metals.
The most spectacular change during the Renaissance, which shaped the course of history, was the opening of the world to the European shipping, propelled by gospel, gold, and glory. It was Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese serving the Spanish royalty, saw action for his country in the east. 3 Spanish expeditions followed Magellan's, this time sailing from Mexico, which became a Spanish colony, Saavedra, Villalobos, and most successfully Legazpi. It was in Maluku Island where Spaniards once owned it. The known first voyage in the history was still ongoing with the other expedition. It was Villalobos where he was with 6 ships and some men in November 1542. They reached the eastern coast of Mindanao at Sarangani Island. Villalobos essayed to set up a colony and even ordered his men to plow the land to plant corn, the first time on Philippine soil. Exactly 22 years since Villalobos set sail from the same port of Juan Gallego by February 1565. Legazpi reached Cebu and contracted blood conquest with C. Catunao and C. Gala at Bohol. On institutional impact of Spanish rule, it focused on trading, one of which is the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade from 1565 to 1815. Through the Manila galleons, the American worlds were linked by untold luxuries and wealth, spices and silk for the Americans and the Mexican and Persian dos mundos. Educational transformation evolved during Spanish period. The earliest schools were established exclusively for sons of Spaniards. It was the Colegio Maximo de San Ignacio, which later became a University of San Carlos. While first boarding schools for Spanish girls in the Philippines were the Colegios of Santa Potenciana. Baybayin was supplanted by Latin alphabet as part of the Hispanization of the Filipinos. It was about 300 years that Philippines was colonized by Spaniards.
The first phase of the Philippine Revolution is also called the Filipino-Spanish War. It began with the cry of Pugadlawin and ended with the Pact of Biak na Bato. Andres Bonifacio led the revolution. Thus, he was called the father of the Philippine Revolution. With his death, Emilio Aguinaldo took over the leadership of the revolution. The Pact of Biak na Bato was signed on December 14, 1897 by Emilio Aguinaldo and Governor-General Fernando Primo de Rivera.
The Philippine Republic, more commonly known as the First Philippine Republic or the Malolos Republic, was a short-lived insurgent revolutionary government in the Philippines. It was formally established with the proclamation of the Malolos Constitution on January 23, 1899 in Malolos, Bulacan, and endured until the capture and surrender of Emilio Aguinaldo to the American forces on March 23, 1901 in Palanan, Isabela, which effectively dissolved the First Republic. The establishment of the Philippine Republic was the culmination of the Philippine Revolution against Spanish rule. Independence was declared on June 12, 1898. A dictatorial government headed by Emilio Aguinaldo was proclaimed on 18th of June and replaced on 23rd of June by a revolutionary government, also headed by Aguinaldo. The Malolos Congress convened on 15th of September and produced the Malolos Constitution. That constitution was proclaimed on 22nd of January 1899, transforming the government into what is known today as the First Philippine Republic, with Aguinaldo as its president. In the meantime, on December 10, 1898, the Treaty of Paris had been signed, ending the Spanish-American War. Article 3 of the treaty transferred the Philippines from Spain to the United States.
The Philippine-American War then ensued. Aguinaldo was captured by U.S. forces on March 23, 1901 and swore an oath accepting the authority of the United States over the Philippines and pledging his allegiance to the American government. On April 19, he issued a proclamation of formal surrender to the United States, telling his followers to lay down their weapons and give up the fight, effectively ending the First Philippine Republic. Subsequently, the U.S. continued its annexation of the islands pursuant to the Treaty of Paris. The Philippines was under U.S. sovereignty until 1946, when formal independence was granted by the Treaty of Manila. After the capture of General Emilio Aguinaldo at Palanan, Isabela in 1901, the Filipino-American War ended as far as the United States and Filipino elites were concerned to the Filipino masses who looked upon their war against the Americans as a continuing struggle for independence. The resistance lasted longer period. In the cultural communities, the Americans were also successful in cooperating the ruling elite at the start of the American rule. In the tribal communities, American teachers and missionaries opened the path to an understanding of American benevolent policy through schools, religious nations, and especially radical work.